All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're going to be talking about the Houston Texans, folks. Oh my goodness, this is so impressive. Another great victory this afternoon, 20-13 against the New Orleans Saints, which might I add are a top 5 statistical defense in the National Football League. I love everything about this. I absolutely love it. The Houston Texans have now rattled off 3 wins out of their last 4 football games. I guarantee you, man, if I asked any single Houston Texans fan at the start of the season, or even after an 0-2 start, hey, look, what's your record gonna be after 6 games? Every single Texan fan I know would say, or would rather be very happy with a 3-3 start. Whether it's this season, whether it's next season, it literally doesn't matter. The Houston Texans have their guys in CJ Stroud, DeMeco Ryans, Will Anderson Jr., Nico Collins. You can literally name it. Their offensive line, their team in general is getting healthier and healthier and healthier. I love what I'm seeing. And I think today was a great representation of the eye test. You know, we could sit back here and nitpick the Houston Texans box score. More specifically, we'll use CJ Stroud as an example. 13 of 27, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, his first career interception, which is a feat in and of itself. I mean, it's just magnificent. It really is magnificent. I am so happy for my Texans fans. And before we get any further into tonight's video, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button. Texans fans, you guys bless every single video I post. I appreciate it so much. If we could try and get tonight's video to 250 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. Yo, CJ Stroud is in control. He sees the game, he sees the field, he understands football. Not only does he have a high IQ in general, he has a high football IQ. I love it. He's a professional, he's humble, he clearly has skill, but more importantly, man, he's winning football games. The Houston Texans have now won 3 out of their last 4 with an unfortunate loss to the Atlanta Falcons about a week ago. Those wins include the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are currently 4-2, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have one of the best defenses in the National Football League. They won 30-6. And then you have the New Orleans Saints, who, like we said, have a top 5 defense in the National Football League. A win is a win, man. And this wasn't a sexy win, but for a team that won 3 games this past season, and just honestly in general, wins don't need to be sexy. We say all the time on this channel, it's not college football. I don't care how much you win by. I don't care who you've beaten. You don't pick your schedule. Context to me doesn't really matter in that regard. The Houston Texans, especially with the eye test, are extremely impressive. But even not with the eye test statistically, they're an impressive football team. They have a 13th graded offense in the league right now. They have a top 10 defense, giving up just 19 points per game. CJ Stroud on the season, 1,660 yards. He's got 9 touchdowns. He has only just 1 interception that we saw today. He's a QBR or a rating of 96.4. He's throwing for over 275 yards per game. I mean, what we're seeing right now is literally special. And keep in mind, the Houston Texans defense, especially before this afternoon, the first month of the season, their offensive line has been riddled with injuries. Nico Collins emerging as a wide receiver 1. Tank Dell, the rookie, dude's a freaking stud. They were without Tank Dell today. You bring in Dalton Schultz, tight end out of Dallas Cowgirls. This is a special squad, man. Will Anderson Jr. as a rookie right now is just absolutely feasting. But I have a quote here from CJ Stroud on DeMeco Ryans' impact on this Texans team that I think perfectly emulates and just captures everything special about what's going on with Houston right now. And here's the quote. This dude, and it's about DeMeco Ryans, CJ Stroud on DeMeco Ryans. This dude loves us. He understands what it is to be a player. That's the vibe I got. One thing about DeMeco is he played, and some coaches who don't understand this. His thing is next drive, next thing. He always has a smile on his face and tells me how good I'm doing. I appreciate his demeanor and positivity. Look, man, this is another thing we've talked about all the freaking time on this channel. When you have people who believe in you, you could be playing pee-wee football, you could be a high school athlete, you could be a college athlete, or you could be a professional athlete. When there are people who believe in you and trust you, and they know that you've got that sauce, it goes a really long way. And when we take a look at CJ Stroud, when we dive into the film, we eat that film for breakfast, baby. CJ Stroud's in control. He's in control of these football games. Use guys like, I hate to say it, but use a player like Bryce Young as an example, as a comparison for what CJ Stroud is right now. The dude is special. You just simply can't teach sauce. You can't teach impact. So in this afternoon's game, it's very important to note that you have an injury-esque riddled offensive line. You're without Tank Dell, and you're playing a top 5 defense. Well, they didn't have any issue with that. If we were box score watching, I could sit back here and nitpick CJ Stroud's performance. 13 of 27, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, and his first career interception. I mean, if you watch this football game, man, if you've watched the first 6 Texans games of the season, you know exactly what I'm saying right now. This team is set. I mean, they're set up so freaking nicely for the future. Now, while I will say there are some things I'm not extremely enamored about, number one being Dameon Pierce. This afternoon, 13 carries, only 34 yards, 2.6 yards per carry. The dude just is not getting the job done right now. Devin Singletary came on in here, next man up, 12 carries, 58 yards, averaging 4.8 yards per carry. We'll wait and see what's going on with Dameon Pierce here. But that's like one of the only kind of nitpicks I have with this Texans squad. Once again, we're 6 games into the season. We're like a third of the way through the regular season. The Houston Texans just got the number 1 pick, or not the number 1 pick. They were in line for the number 1 pick this past season. They won 3 freaking football games. You have the number 2 pick. You have the number 3 pick. They're 3-3 right now. I mean, that in and of itself right now is extremely impressive, but we sat back here on the mic and we started to look at CJ Stroud and we're like, well, hold on. This guy has everything I want him to be. So let's take a look at his team. I look at a guy like Nico Collins. If you guys remember, if you were watching my Texans videos this past summer, we were saying, I don't understand why Nico Collins won't be a 1,000-yard receiver this upcoming season. This afternoon, 4 catches, 80 yards. Dalton Schultz, keep in mind, man, no Tank Dell. Tank Dell, even though he's a rookie and he's only played, 5 games of his NFL career, he's averaging like 65 yards receiving per game. Dalton Schultz had a slower start to the Houston Texans career. He's caught a touchdown pass in the last 3 games. This afternoon, 4 catches, 61 yards, and a touchdown. We could sit here and nitpick this thing. At the end of the day, the Houston Texans defense, which is currently rated 9th in the National Football League, they only gave up 13 points. They only gave up 1 touchdown on the entire day. In fact, the Texans got out yardaged, if that's even a word, by the Saints, 430 to 297. I mean, what this team is doing right now, and it's not just CJ Stroud, it's their defense, it's their culture, it's their coaching staff. What we're watching right now is extremely unique, and the future is extremely bright. We're taking it game by game. We're going to take it week by week. But I think I speak for a lot of Texans fans here. I'm 3-3. I'm feeling pretty freaking good, not only about this season, but the future in general. That's it for tonight, man. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for more NFL content, along with a couple of Texans videos every single week. Guys, I'm trying to get this video to 250 likes. That would mean the world to me. But guys, how are you feeling about the Houston Texans? Let me know down below. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next time.